was futile for the Americans to carry on the war, and that the British were willing to offer peace with honor. Of course, any settlement would involve the colonies remaining under British rule. The three envoys listened in polite silence, after which Benjamin Franklin informed Lord Howe that the Declaration of Independence had already been signed on July 4, 1776, and that they would never go back under British rule. The conference broke up, and Lord Howe, still very polite, had the trio conveyed to Amboy in his own barge under the safe conduct pass he had granted them. The following day, September 12, 1776, the War of Independence entered a new round. The Yankees knew what the British government was willing to offer them in order to obtain peace, and they realized that they might very well win the war with just a little more effort. Far from discouraging them, the failure of the peace conference on Staten Island helped reinforce the Continental Congress in its determination to pursue the War of Independence to its very end. This historical event took place in a manor house overlooking Raritan Bay, and at the time, and for many years afterward, it was considered the most outstanding building on Staten Island. The two-story white building goes back to before 1680 and is a colonial manor built along British lines. It was erected by a certain Christopher Billop, a somewhat violent and hard-headed sea captain who had served in the British Navy for many years. Apparently, Captain Billop had friends at court in London, and when the newly appointed Governor Andros came to America in 1674, he gave Billop a patent as lieutenant of a company of soldiers. In the process, Billop acquired nearly 1,000 acres of choice land on Staten Island. But Billop got into difficulties with his governor and re-entered Navy service for a while, returning to Staten Island under Governor Thomas Dongan. In 1687, he received a land grant for Bentley Manor, 1,600 acres of very choice land, and on this tract he built the present manor house. The Billop family were fierce Tories and stood with the crown to the last. The captain's grandson, also named Christopher, who was already born in the manor, lived there till the end of the Revolution, when he moved to New Brunswick, Canada, along with many other Tories who could not stay on in the newly independent colonies. From then on, the manor house had a mixed history of owners and gradually fell into disrepair. Had it not been built so solidly with the keen eye of a Navy man's perception of carpentry, perhaps none of it would stand today. As it was, an association was formed in 1920 to restore the historical landmark to its former glory. This has now been done, and the Conference House, as it is commonly called, is a museum open to the public. It is located in what was once Bentley Manor, but today is called Tottenville, and it can easily be reached from New York City via the Staten Island Ferry. The ground floor contains 2 large rooms and a staircase leading to the upper story, which is also divided into 2 rooms. In the basement is a kitchen and a vault-like enclosure. Both basement and attic are of immense proportions. The large room downstairs to the left of the entrance was originally used as a dining room, and the room to the right as a parlor. Upstairs, the large room to the left is a bedroom, while the one to the right is nowadays used as a Benjamin Franklin museum. In between the 2 large rooms is a small room, perhaps a child's room at one time. At one time there was also a tunnel from the vault in the basement to the water's edge, which was used as a means of escape during Indian attacks, a frequent occurrence in early colonial days. Also, this secret tunnel could be used to obtain supplies by the sea route without being seen by observers on land. As early as 1962, I was aware of the Conference House and its reputation of being haunted. My initial investigation turned up a lot of hearsay evidence, hardly of a scientific nature. but nevertheless of some historical significance, inasmuch as there is usually a grain of truth in all legendary stories.